Yay, Media Group.
If making eggnog around the holidays with your family is your thing, that's what you do to bond on Christmas Day, for example, like I did growing up, sure, go ahead and have that 1 cup with them to bond on Christmas Day. But throughout the holiday season, you can still have your eggnog without all the added sugars, carbs, and calories. We have some healthier options that you can keep in the pantry all season long.
A quick note before we dive into today's podcast. If you like what you hear, I would love for you to subscribe to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, wherever you download your podcast. It would also be incredible if you take a minute to rate and review this podcast. Those things do matter and they really help us. I'm Molly Kimball. Welcome to Fueled, a wellness and nutrition podcast. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition journalist with a passion to help people live their strongest, healthiest life possible. In my weekly TV segments and columns, there's a limited amount of time and space to cover everything, but there's so much more to share. This podcast is my opportunity to dive deeper into the topics you want to know about. All right, y'all, this is one of my favorite things, eggnog. And I know it's a love it or hate it thing. I love it personally, and I am joined by Carrigan Chauvin. If y'all have been watching us on WGNO, Carrigan is our meteorologist, and we have so much fun. Carrigan, you're such a good sport with all the things that I would say make you try, but I don't have to make you try it.
Yeah.
You're down for it.
We're pretty much cut from the same cloth in the health and wellness space. We love healthy alternatives, and this is right up my alley because holiday season is one of my favorite times of the year. Warm, anything, hot chocolate, eggnog, golden milk. I mean, I made you make that for me.
For your golden birthday. So as we're recording this podcast, we're recording it a couple of weeks before it drops, but we're recording it right before we're about to be in the studio doing a TV segment on eggnogs. And so we're going to be covering it, but in our TV segments on WGNO, it's short. It's 2.5 minutes. Mm-hmm. We do share extra kind of behind the scenes on social, but we don't really get to go into a lot of detail. And so as I was pulling together this year's favorite eggnog healthy picks that are currently on store shelves, and I was about to kind of do the taste test myself and make my assessment to weigh in on our segment, I'm like, hey, wait, let's turn it into a podcast. Kerrigan, are you down for it? You're like, yes.
Absolutely. We're also recording this, I know it's early, but a stormy, cool day, which makes this eggnog that much better. That much better.
When you have eggnog, do you heat it?
Yes.
Okay, because this is chilled. So you usually
I've only had hot eggnog. So the only real experience that I've had with eggnog in the past was my family making it every year religiously on Christmas Day. So this is a family tradition for me. Obviously, it was not the healthy version. I mean, we're from South Louisiana. It was all the sugar, all the eggs, everything. So I'm excited to try some healthier alternatives and try to incorporate that into my family's holiday this season.
See if you can slip it in.
Yeah.
But so were they doing stovetop preparation of it?
Old school, stirring the pot and all that stuff.
So for the purposes of having kind of regular, air quote, regular eggnog for us to compare these healthier versions of eggnog to, we've got 5 of them that are lined up in front of us.
I've never even had the store-bought.
Right. So I'm like, this is kind of what most people think of as eggnog, but not the purist. And your family is the purist and making it from scratch. I also looked up.
Also, speaking of purity, we never put alcohol in it either.
I was going to ask that. So as a kid, you could just chug it.
Yeah, we made it for the kids too. So I've only had virgin eggnog.
And they did it Christmas Day. Y'all drank it all Christmas Day. There was none left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look back at pictures of me as a kid, you'll probably notice I chugged a good bit of eggnog in my past before I went into my health and fitness realm.
I could put down a quart of eggnog. Loved it. Still do.
I'm excited to try the store-bought. I've never had it.
So we're going to talk through the store-bought. We'll sip it. That's going to kind of be what we go to for color comparison and stuff like that. But what I've got for us, just for our listeners to know, we've got 5 different options that we're going to be sipping, we're going to taste, we're going to weigh in on it. How does it measure up in terms of flavor, texture, that richness? Is it thin? Is it thick? Is it flavorful? Does it kind of lack something? And then also color, because the color of what we're looking at, they all vary a lot. Mm-hmm. And so we'll weigh in on those. We've got 4 store-boughts and we have 1 do-it-yourself version that will walk y'all through the recipe for this. And I love that one. That's kind of my go-to. As I was kind of pulling these together and thinking through it, I was like, where did eggnog even come from?
Oh, I'm so excited for these fun facts. I'm like coined as the fun fact queen. So the fact that you have a fact for me, I am thrilled.
The answer is nobody's quite sure. So,
I mean,
but that's not our
But
fun fact.
honestly, isn't that the answer for everything?
You know what? That's true. And it's whatever anyone's made the story to be, But this came from Time Magazine. They had a couple of different pieces over the years on eggnog. And they were, they kind of posed the question, like, how did this even like come up that something that was in the traditional sense, egg yolks and milk and cream and spiked typically with something like rum. How did this even like, who even put this together? And the answer is most culinary historians agree that it probably originated from early medieval Britain. So it's British. And they called it a posset, Posset.
Posset.
It could be passe, but I would imagine with it being British, it's just simply posset, Posset. A hot, milky, ale-like drink. And by the 13th century, monks...
So it was originally hot. They made it a hot drink, not chilled.
Yeah, you're right. A hot, milky...
Okay.
hot, milky, ale-like drink. And by the 13th century, monks were known to drink their posset with eggs and figs. I'm not sure if the figs were in it or alongside it. And milk, eggs, and sherry were foods that were like associated with being wealthy. So if you were drinking eggnog, or even if you had just a little bit of it, it was used in toast to good health and good wealth. So eggnog was almost like a status type thing back in the day. And then it got tied to the holidays back around the 1700s with, I guess, like colonization here. So American colonies, they talked about that they're full of farms, chickens, cows, and then cheaper rum. And they talk about that Mexico adopted a variety of eggnog that is kind of their own specialty. Puerto Rico, the same thing here. But they don't know where the name came from England of like, how did eggnog come from? Nog could mean noggin, which is a wooden cup. But like people say they're noggin, meaning their forehead. But in Britain, it's meaning a wooden cup. I'm not sure. So, but regardless, by the 18th century, the term eggnog had stuck. And so they also say that purists say that the supermarket versions have never tasted like the real thing. So you kind of have people either love it or hate it with eggnog, and those who love it really are sort of split. They're going to buy it from the store or not. And the reason the supermarket versions are never going to be nearly like the real thing is that store-bought versions can only have as little as or as much as 1% egg yolk.
Oh,
so they can't actually have a lot of egg. And I don't know if you saw as I was making our do-it-yourself, I put 3 yolks in there. The recipe calls for.
So good. Dietary cholesterol. So good for building muscles, Molly.
So a little bit of history on that. It's our British posset that has now made its way here.
Back to the original version. One of my favorite parts about the homemade version of eggnog is the little bits of egg yolk and egg that kind of get cooked in the process of heating it up. The little
coagulated pieces of egg.
I don't know how to describe it. But
they're not.
Some people like sift that out and make it smooth. But I think of it as the what's in the orange juice?
Pulp.
The pulp. It's like the egg pulp.
But it's soft also.
The nog pulp. Oh, yeah. I love the nog pulp.
Yeah.
So if you ever had what's the name of the soup? Egg drop soup.
Yeah.
Now they have like the pulp on top.
Yeah.
It's that same consistency. And some people sift it out. I love it.
You're like, give me yours, right? Or you're like dragging the spoon on the bottom.
Yeah.
To get your extras.
Or the griots, like we say in South Louisiana.
The what?
The little griots at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
You never use that word?
No.
We use that in my house.
How do you spell it?
I don't know. You just say it.
Because you're rolling your R's in there.
Yeah. So it's like whatever is left at the bottom of the pot whenever you're cooking. That's always the best stuff. It's where all the flavor is. So whenever you're like browning your meat or your onions or the little griots at the bottom, you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. And I would be the same of loving that little, and it's the yolks being coagulated like that. I can imagine that texture is like really good.
Your word is much better to describe that than mine. You sound so advanced.
It's egg pulp.
So uptown.
Egg pulp or coagulation. All right. So we'll get started, y'all. in the past, when we've done taste tests, and I asked my neighbor, Lily, she's 12, she's done several taste tests with us. And I was hoping she could join us, but she's on a field trip today. But otherwise she'd be down for it. So we've done blind taste tests before. This one's not blind. I'll walk y'all through what we've got in front of us. And so we have two versions, actually three, that are super streamlined. They don't have any thickeners. They don't have any stabilizers. And one is the brand Malk. They have an almond milk that doesn't have any, like I said, it doesn't have any types of gums or any of that in it. Malk has been around for several years, and they have their holiday nog. There's a brand called Three Trees that I would put kind of side by side with Malk. Similar kind of concept here that's just super simple, super plain. Both of these that I really appreciate is that there's nothing vague on the label, and they're very clear of exactly what's in it. So when our dietitians, for example, work with people with food sensitivities, these brands, Malk and Three Trees, are some of our go-tos because there's not something hidden in there under a natural flavors that maybe someone with food sensitivities doesn't know what's in there. The third that falls under that is a coconut water based one, and it's the Harmless Harvest Coconut Nog. And it's just simple, clean ingredients. So we'll walk y'all through those three. And then the fourth store-bought one is Califia Farms. They've been around for a while. There's still a really good product. It's not quite as simple and streamlined of a label. And then the fifth that we'll talk about is our homemade one. All right. So we want to start with the baseline of our regular store-bought nog.
First time trying store-bought nog. Oh, that baby's thick. Woo.
It's thick. It's sweet.
Very sweet. Man. I'm gonna take like a little tiny sip again.
It's like melted ice cream, like melted really rich ice cream thick.
Yep, that's the way to describe it. Okay, I'm like, how can I get the description of this across? I can't even talk after tasting it. It's so thick.
It's thick. It's puckery sweet, I feel.
Yeah.
So that,
as
I
you
think,
swirl it around, it sticks to the side of the glass.
just like heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Which is the drawback of these healthier ones that we're going to talk about, because it's hard for them to get that thickness without having the gums, those thickeners, those stabilizers.
Oh, do we want it that thick? I was using that description as a drawback.
But a lot of people want that. And so we'll compare it though. So hand us each a Malk over there. And so the first one we're going to taste is the almond Malk holiday nog.
And I was reading the label. This one is different because it's sweetened with maple syrup versus the other two sweetened with cane sugar. Two of the other ones, this is the only one sweetened with maple syrup.
And so while Carrigan's tasting it, the Malk, the ingredients, it's called holiday nog because it doesn't actually have eggs in it. It's got almonds, which is how they're making their almond milk. It's got water and almonds sweetened with maple syrup, like Carrigan said. And then it has nutmeg and Himalayan pink salt. Everything's organic in here. So it's vegan. It's completely plant-based, which is why they call it holiday nog instead. What you think?
I like that better than the actual eggnog.
I do too. Now we should say, we kind of jumped in with this. All of the nutrition facts we're going to talk about are based on a half cup, because that's kind of typically what you'll see listed as a serving. And so for reference, regular eggnog for a half cup has about 17 to 24 grams of sugar in a single half cup. And a half cup is a reminder, like what fits basically into almost like a cupcake wrapper. So 17, 24 grams of sugar is typical.
That's insane.
Even the light eggnogs still usually have about the same amount of sugar. They're just lower fat. And so this one that we just tasted, the Malk, has 4 grams of sugar, 4 added sugar. So still that added sugar from the maple syrup, but a fraction of that.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that one too. You know, when we had Lily over here and we were doing the plant-based milk taste test, we had a whole bunch of different varieties of plant-based milks. And I thought for sure Malk would be last on the list because it doesn't have the stabilizers, the thickeners that are kind of familiar texture like regular milk. And for Lily and our other adult tester, the Malk was their favorite, just regular plant-based milk.
And have you had their pecan milk yet?
Yes.
It's so good.
And simple, pure ingredients. Okay, so Malk for us, thumbs up. The thickness on it, when you swirl it, it's still sticking on the glass. The color on it, I would say, the color is a little bit more beige, not quite as yellow as our store-bought eggnog, but I think it's still If you're pouring this for me, I like it.
Yeah, I would take this any day.
All
Very
right.
good. Now to the next.
The Three Trees. So this brand, Three Trees, is a little bit newer to the market than what I've seen Malk, but on the same note, same reasons, no thickeners, no stabilizers. The Three Trees Organic Nog, also vegan. It has almonds, but it also has oats. So it's a blend of oat milk and almond milk, sweetened with a little bit of sugar. And then just like the Malk has 4 grams of sugar, this also has 4 sugar. 3.5 of it is added sugar.
Okay, let me try this. I'm assuming this is going to be a little thicker because of the oats.
Totally different. It has a much more cinnamon. And I think it's thinner in texture.
That's weird. It is thinner.
Thinner in texture, a lot more cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Still good.
Still very, very good. I'm surprised it's thinner because it's higher in calories, higher in fat, and it has oats in it. And it also has
It's actually lower
root
in
fiber.
calories. They list it for a cup.
Oh,
So to keep it
look at
apples to
that.
apples with all the others.
Okay, Three Trees. Giving us
So
more.
the carbs are a smidge higher and the calories are a smidge lower. The sugar's right at the same.
See, and I am so trained to read labels like that. And look, I was just
Going straight for it. Yeah.
Yep.
And they're not trying to pull anything over on us. They actually could have gotten by with putting a smaller serving size. But yeah, when you're looking at it, I'll usually give the nutrition facts for a half of a cup just to keep it easy for comparison's sake in there. Of these so far, of the Malk Holiday Nog or the Three Trees Organic Nog, what's your favorite?
That milk at the beginning was
I
very
know.
good.
I think the same thing. We'll work our way back with a quick sip after going backwards. The next one is going to be our coconut nog. This is also going to be one that is no stabilizers, no thickeners, and it is organic coconut water and then the meat of the coconut in here. So it actually, I wonder if it'll give you some of your egg coagulation texture.
That's what I'm excited for. This was the one I was most excited to try. Just because it's not sweetened with anything, we're correct?
The coconut water is probably giving it that sweetness.
It's naturally sweet on its own. Do you want to?
So it's coconut water, coconut meat as referred on the label.
Oh, I love me some good coconut meat.
Cinnamon and nutmeg. So really just coconut, cinnamon, nutmeg, and water.
I feel like this will be my favorite. Oh, yeah.
Did you get any of your coagulation pieces?
Yep. It has the thickness. This is very good, Molly. I like it.
I don't love coconut water.
Oh, I love coconut anything. So this is right up my alley. So I'm biased here, but
I find like I like coconut, but the coconut water has something in the flavor that I don't drink coconut water just like it's not my favorite to drink just straight. So I'm picking up on like the undertones of the coconut water in here.
oh, I'm obsessed with this one. This is so good. I like the coconut meat. Gives it the
And you know what?
the texture that
We shook it, but I bet you at the bottom there's a bunch of those chunks. Because if they're having coconut meat in there, it's settling to the bottom of this bottle. So the brand of this, we just referred to it as the coconut nuggets, Harmless Harvest. And I should say these all came from Whole Foods. So some traditional grocery stores, regular mainstream stores are going to have some of these brands. But if you're going to like a health type store like a Whole Foods, you're going to have a good representation of all of these. I'll say stores like Trader Joe's, they'll have a light eggnog, but they, again, like we said earlier, a lot of those lights, they're still full of sugar. And so I haven't seen one at a store like Trader Joe's yet. All right, so now moving on to our fourth and final of our store boughts is going to be the Califia Farms. And this is almond milk, a bit of cane sugar. Oh, I should say the coconut nog has 5 grams sugar. The first two we tried had 4, 0 added sugar, like you said, because it just was the natural sugars from coconut, the coconut water. The last one we're doing is the Califia Farms Holiday Nog, 8 grams sugar for that half cup. So a smidge higher than all of these, really double than the first two we had.
it's good. It is good. I can tell it has a little more things just because it's smoother, a little more artificial, but it's good.
The color of the Califia Farms Holiday Nog, I think, is the best, kind of
Yeah.
richest of the colors so far. They use fruit and vegetable juices for color. So it's almond milk, a little bit of cane sugar, some sea salt, the fruit and vegetable juices for color. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger is in here. And then they do use guar gum and gelling gum. Nothing wrong for most people. There's not a reason to avoid these, but some people feel better if they don't have them. And so I think it's interesting that we have 3 options on the shelves that don't have any of that. They're getting their thickness naturally, not by adding the gums and for that. So we've got these 4. The 5th one we have, y'all, this is one that is basically a do-it-yourself protein nog. And so it is.
You have it chilled for us, but if I were making this at home, 100% I would make it over stovetop.
So I'm glad that I was reading what's in it because I realized I had left out the swerve, the sweetener in there. So it's your milk of choice. I like the ripple in that, or like an ultra filtered milk to keep the carbs and sugars low, but still get the thickness and the protein. Milk, egg yolks, a sweetener, a little bit of canned coconut milk, and then nutmeg, cinnamon, vanilla, and then rum extract. And so you can put in there regular rum, or now there's 0 proof rum available on shelves. But yeah, so let's see how we are now with a little sweetener in it. And collagen. I forgot to add that note too. So we use collagen protein. So each serving of this, which is about 6 ounces for a serving, maybe 8, is about 10 grams of protein.
Wow. I like ours a lot.
I do too.
I want to say the best.
Okay, so we'll work our way back. So we've got the do-it-yourself protein eggnog that the only carbs in it really are whatever's going to be in your milk of choice. So if you did something like an almond milk or a coconut milk, you're essentially going to be 0 carb. If you're using like a Ripple pea protein or an ultra filtered milk, you might have, 3 grams of carbs in a serving because you're using 1 cup, but it makes 2 servings. And then collagen is in here, the egg yolks. So good stuff there.
I'm assuming ours would be on the higher calorie side just because we are using all of those whole ingredients, right?
A little bit higher. It would be if we were going to, I need to do the math to make it also 4 ounces, but I actually think if we were going to do it on a 4 ounce serving, like what the others are, it might be pretty close. Like it might be about 75 calories where some of them were like 50 or 60, but really roughly the same there.
Okay.
And then our carbs, depending on the milk, can be as low as none, 0 to 3, 0 added sugars, 0 total sugars. And then per serving, about 10 grams of protein, depending. And you could raise that if you want, because you've got room for that. You could, and the protein is only going to make it thicker.
And with this, if you make it yourself, add some ice to it, add it to the blender, and you have yourself a smoothie. And eggnog smoothies are also very, very good this time of year.
One of the segments that you and I are going to be doing soon coming up is about protein coffee, which has apparently been trending on TikTok.
And it's been trending in my life for the past 6 years. So I don't know
now
why.
that it's on TikTok, people are talking about. Are you on TikTok?
What?
Are you on TikTok?
I am, but I don't post as much as I should.
I'm not even on it, and I don't really look at it. I just get like the news headlines about what's on TikTok. And it was like Profi. And I'm like, Profi? And it's like protein coffee. I'm like, oh, come on. Like we've been doing this forever. But now that like a TikToker is calling it Profi, it's catching attention.
Okay. Whatever. I mean, as long as people are getting their protein, do what you want, call it what you want.
So we'll be doing a segment on that in December, a TV segment. And, because it's so simple, you can make your protein coffee in so many ways. But one of the things that I'm going to do is kind of put a holiday twist on it by using some of the better for you creamers that are holiday themed. But I'm wondering if any of these eggnog options would also be good for a splash in your Profi.
100%. All of them would do great for that. I was thinking that.
Let's do a quick sip backwards up.
All right.
What I found with taste tests, and I'll keep talking while you're doing a sip back, is sometimes when we do them in one order and then you sip on the way back, our tastes change of what we perceive. So this is our do-it-yourselfer.
Still so good.
I kind of think that might be my favorite.
So good.
I want to not go, I'm going to go out of order a minute. I want to go straight from our do it yourself to mock. Well, I'll follow where you just went. You just had the Califia.
Yeah, Califia.
How did you like it compared to the do it yourself?
I wasn't the biggest fan of it right at first,
Yeah.
and it's still not exactly my favorite.
And then let's go on the heels of their harmless to harvest coconut nog.
Oh, I did love this one. I'm a coconut fan, though. I just like coconut. So
On the-
I feel
on the
like
way
that's
back,
not
still
fair.
really good.
It's still good.
And then the last two is our three trees. I kind of didn't like this one as much as the mock.
Yeah.
A little thin.
Oh, wait. Like, I really don't like that one now.
Isn't it funny? It kind
Yeah.
of, it hits you different when you do them like after tasting the others. It's almost like cinnamon milk for that one. And then the mock.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. I really like the mock and our do it yourself the best. And you like,
Yeah, those are my two fave too. But this coconut one, it's not screaming eggnog,
right?
but it's
It doesn't
good.
scream eggnog. And we didn't mention it's also brown.
From that coconut meat.
So if you're looking for a true, like, okay, what's going to feel like you're sipping some traditional eggnog or store-bought eggnog, the Harmless Harvest Coconut Nog is going to give you a whole different deal. It's going to look different. It's going to taste different. But if you're looking for something that is truly a better for you brand of coconut or eggnog that's on shelves, I think we're landing on the Mock.
I like the milk.
Holiday Nog is our store-bought, and then we're going to have our recipe that we'll link to that includes all these ingredients. And you can really kind of, ebb and flow with if you like a little more cinnamon, a little less. When I did the first batch, I asked Carrigan to taste it, and she's like, something's missing. We didn't realize it was a sweetener, but we kind of adjusted the cinnamon. So play with it, make it your own. Any last thoughts? I have one more thing I want to share on eggnog, but any last thoughts on these?
I can tell you that last place was the store-bought original, the 200 calorie, super sweet sugar bomb that everyone buys that is overrated compared to these healthier brands.
I think you're right. It is sort of just a sugar bomb, a little like, it's just so candy sweet. Candy sweet, super thick. I would put the Malk or our version over it any day. If you're doing any of these better for you store-bought nogs and your kind of drawback on it or your issue with them is that they're not as thick as you would want them to be, because they do tend to be a little thinner, especially like we said, that Malk doesn't have any thickeners or stabilizers. A way to boost the thickness is to simply add a scoop of collagen.
Oh, yeah.
You could do vanilla protein powder also, like a whey or plant-based, but add some collagen, add some vanilla protein, whisk it with a little immersion blender.
I have another trick for that. If you make oats over the stove at any point, I don't know if you've ever done that, but you over add water whenever you boil them. And if you strain out the oats from the water, that oat water, if you use that as a base, it's warm and it is so thick. So thick. So I'll even like make my own oat milk sometime and use that in my coffee.
Right.
And it would thicken up all of these if you use that as the base.
I wonder when you're using just like your oat starch water, I wonder what the carb impact is on that.
It would increase it a bit, but not fully because you are not using the husk of the oat.
I'll say for oat milk as a plant-based milk, I'm a hater on it.
Yeah. Store-bought, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But if I'm eating my oats anyway.
Yeah. And you've got the leftover in there. And it's the starch in that's acting as that thickening agent.
Yeah. I can send you a picture or a video one day of what the consistency of that water looks like. It's so savory and delicious. Oh my gosh. I love it.
There's a drink like that that we have had in Mexico. It's like a rice drink like that, and it's kind of that same like savoriness to
very
it.
similar. Yeah.
Yes. All right, y'all. So we've got our 4 store-boughts and we've got our do-it-yourself. I'm going to link to Carrigan and I's segment, our TV segment, by the time they're airing, like right in the same week. So I'll link to our segment so you can have visuals for each of these. Again, our segment's 2.5 minutes. So we really want to kind of go take a deeper dive with y'all on this. So just to kind of recap, typical eggnog, Even if it's the light type eggnog, it's going to range from about 150 to over 200 calories for a half cup serving. The sugar is going to be anywhere from like 17 to 24 grams of sugar. So it's a ton packed into that little half cup serving. We should also say that like the typical eggnog has things like, yes, milk, but also sugar. Sometimes you'll see it as pure sugar or high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup. And then a lot of them do have the thickeners, the stabilizers, and all that. So the fact that there is this many better for you options, and there's more options. I just pulled these for us as my top favorites. So the store-boughts are coming a long way. Try them. It's one of those things that we get in such a routine of doing the same thing. You've had this brand that you go to, and that's sort of what you've always had. Like Carrigan was saying, her family's always done this stovetop, full strength, traditional. So maybe bring in one or two of these and like, hey, what do you think?
Yeah. And during the holidays, there's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
So I look back at my family making that, and it's important that we're all doing it together, having it together. It's not terrible if you have a little cup with your family, if that's what you do for Christmas.
I'm so glad you said that.
I know. But if you're just like, oh, I'm craving some eggnog today, it's December 16th at 2 p.m. and I'm just sitting on the comfort of my own home, you don't need to be consuming all of those carbs and those sugars without any sentimental value tied to it. So while you're watching your favorite sitcom that night, you just have a healthier version and save the higher calorie, savory, less healthy options for whenever there's an actual meaning behind it tied to it.
I think I'm so glad you said that, because what we would not want is your family is making the stovetops and you're like, no, I'm not going to have any. I've got my malk over here. I've got my coconut nog over here. No, I think it would be interesting to bring them for them to taste them.
Give it an option.
And just get their feedback. Hey, what do you think of this? It's just kind of like a fun, like introducing like the new flavors, new tastes. I think that's a phenomenal point though, of when it's that time with family and it's that special, it's that one time a year, just do it, enjoy it, savor it. When it's something that's day in, day out, because, starting November 1, eggnog's on shelves. My mom used to have it. I mean, it was like 2 months we would have it, or back then it may not have been that long, but at least the entire month of December, we had eggnog in the fridge. And I would just beg to drink it. So awesome,
maybe you knew the story of it back then. Natalie was like, you know what? I hear that eggnog back in the day was for the wealthy. Let me try to inflict money on myself by chugging this eggnog.
I think for me, it was just like melted ice cream. Thank you. So good. All right, y'all. Well, we'll have the visuals for y'all for this that we'll be doing on our WGNO segment. And thank you for being a good sport with me always.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
I always love Carrigan's insight, her feedback, her take on things. She puts things in a way that often is what I'm thinking and maybe haven't expressed it quite that way. So really grateful for her to spend this time with us. I'll include links to the products that we talked about in the show notes of this episode, and especially links to our WGNO episode on this, so you can see. It's abbreviated, but you can still see everything that we covered today. Let me know what you think. If you try some of these products, if you love them, you hate them, or you have others that you're like, hey, I really think you should know about this, always let me know. I am registered dietitian Molly Kimball, and you've been listening to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, the podcast. And if you'd like more Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, please head over to mollykimball.com, and you can follow me, Molly Kimball RD, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you haven't yet, please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Join us next time for another dose of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition. Thanks for listening, and stay focused on living your strongest, healthiest life.